Hello everybody, I have a little secret that I found recently on NTE. Did you know that if you teleported to area M10, so the Bureau of Anomaly Control, let's teleport now. There is a little secret tune that can play in one part of the Bureau of Anomaly Control. For this, you don't need to be under any specific time or weather, so you do not need to be during day, night, morning or evening. You just need to teleport here at this exact place and then head to the basement using the Rero phone booth that leads to the basement of the Bureau of Anomaly Control. Once teleported there, you will hear a secret tune. That is, if you stay long enough at the place. What is that tune, you may ask? It is a tune that plays when you are looking at the login screen during the night. It is a remixed version of such. As you can hear, it is the entire remixed version of that tune. I discovered that on stream and I thought, it is interesting, let's showcase it. So, you can stay here for as long as you wish, bask in the ambience of the Bureau of Anomaly Control, and enjoy the tune. This is the only place, as far as I'm aware, that has a secret tune playing. I do not know if other areas in this game have such. However, I also have something to show you, something that I like to do in this game, so consider that also a guide. Now, if we teleport out of here, so out of the Bureau of Anomaly Control, I'm gonna show you some little cool photography tips and tricks that I do on Neverness. First of all, to take awesome photographies like you see on Bagel or that you see posted on social media, there is a quick and cool way to do so to obtain specific vibes and a specific ambience. Let's put our sounds back to where they were. There you go, 50-51, that's right, that's gonna be good. So, if you have a certain subject in mind, like let's say the Wartimer Tower in this plaza, you would not just go, F9, and then go drone mode, and then first person or third person. No. You don't take just a shot like this. What you need to find is a specific position that you want to have. So let's say I want the entire plaza, but I want also to show just the tower and some buildings in the background. I would position my character right here, press F9, go into drone mode. Now you're not going to be in third person for this. Press Z key or whatever control you have if you're on controller to switch to the first person camera. You're going to advance your drone by at least 5 meters and move it to the side like so. Now instead of cropping in, try and zoom, you would crop out a bit to have the top of the tower as shown here. As you can see, we use those balconies here as a guide. We also use that window here as a guide to know that this is the end of our frame. Now, instead of just taking the photo like this, what you are going to do is go to the graphics parameters, change the brightness to, let's say, 1.3, change the saturation to, let's say, 1.4 or 1.5. Let's go 1.5. Now you're going to modify the contrast still the base here appears darker than the floor here and the doors back there. You are going to also modify the color temperature, make the colors slightly warmer, but the tint, you drop it by a notch to bring out the greens, the blues. Once you have done this, you can start cropping in a bit, like so. And then you are going to apply a filter. Let's say for this showcase we are going to use the pearl filter. You can of course tweak the filter to your liking, but we want to obtain a kind of summer vibe, so we are going to use pearl on 0.5. This is the look we are looking for the tower. Now you can go up or down as you wish, but we want to have the tower, the prominent feature, to be entirely in frame. What we are going to do is a slight ascent. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 ascents. We keep the tower slightly tilted compared to our viewpoint, and then what we are going to do is press F. Now we have this cool summery vibe to our shot, and the blues that look beautiful. That is for the wear timer tower in this place. Save to your local folder, which is going to be saved on your disk. You see the settings also apply to the character because the character was off screen. Now, if you have a different subject, let's say your subject is somewhere on Sunward Island, you can of course teleport to Sunward Island because it's the let's face it, it's the only way in the game right now to go to Sunward Island because we don't have boats. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to Sunward Island. Let's say I want to photograph this Rero phone booth. I am going to place my character on the hill up above, so my character is entirely off screen. Okay? I'm also going through photo mode to change the time. So go back to drone, and now let's move down by a couple descents. We have our subject here. We don't want to have the full building, the beach in the background and other things, and even the side. So we are gonna zoom in, advance by 2, move off to the side so we don't have any water. Now in photo mode you are going to use the time setting, keep the weather on sunny, and change the time to around 2300, which is around here. So let's say 2305 for the sake of this guy. Now while you're facing your subject, you are going to drop the brightness by 3 notches to 0.7. You're gonna know why in a sec. We are going to also increase our contrast a bit to 1.1. See the result that we are getting. It's dark and gloomy. That is what we are looking for. Now the saturation. You are going to desaturate to 0.9 to still get the inside of the phone booth visible. The color temperature, you're going to make them slightly warmer to 10,300 Kelvin, like so. Now the tint, give it more tint to 0.6, so the red shows in the puddle down there. You're also going to touch up on the soft line intensity to 3.1 and the range to 0.5. Add a bit of vignette just for looks, like so. We do not apply any filter here. This is the vibes we were looking for that shot. Now you can press the F key or the key to take a screenshot. As you can see, we don't have the beach in the background. We obtain the redness from the phone booth, as well as environmental lights that come in from the left hand side and a bit that are projected by the phone booth. You are going to save that shot because it's a cool shot. We don't want to lose it. And for the resort, so when you go to Sunward Resort, if you want to take the building, I do not recommend you take a shot of the building from here. What I recommend you to do is find a way to get up here. Why? You're going to see in a sec. The perspective matters. The perspective matters. Now that we are at the place we want to take the shot, so around here, we see all the palm trees around. We are going to drop our character right here, so the character is entirely off screen. Press F9, go drone mode, go first person, and now just put the drone right there. When this is not visible anymore, once you rotate, this is when you know you've taken your shot correctly, and this is what the raw frame should look like. We are going to touch up on this. We are going to touch up the settings of the camera a bit here. So let's scroll to here. As you can see, now we can touch up on the brightness. We want a shot that is a bit darker but not too dark, so 0.9. We want a saturation about 1.2. We want a bit more contrast, just 1.1. The temperature, you are going to make it slightly cooler to 6200 Kelvin. By default we are at 6500. That's the default. Let's go 5900. There you go. The tint, you're gonna give it a minus 0.1 on the tint. And then soft light intensity increases to 2.3. Once we are looking at this, you do not touch any of the settings, you do not touch the filters, you leave it as is. Now we take a photo, which gives us more of that Jurassic Park or exotic vibes, because it is darker than it should be, it looks cool, it looks fantastic. Now, if you want to take an urban shot, so let's say down in New Holland, let's say you want to take this intersection, okay? This one of Camelot Avenue and Kino Avenue. You are not going to teleport to anything here, not anything down there. You're going to teleport to this phone booth. This is extremely important because we are not going to take a northwards facing shot but a southwards, and you're going to see why. Now when you are here, you are going to go all the way down to the previous intersection of the city. Of course the settings depend on what the vibe you're looking for, but it should be giving you a good idea of how you want to set up your photo. Why do I want a southwards facing shot? Because I want to take the shot from this street here. So let's go to this street and let's face this way. Now we're going to remain with our character right here, go directly into drone mode, change the drone's perspective, and move in front of the Kokoro Rider level 2 advertisement. Something along these lines. Once you are here, you're going to put the drone above this accessibility feature. So face down a bit and face your drone not perpendicular to this pole, not perpendicular to this one, but parallel. Right parallel to face the line back there, which should be the center of your shot. Now, We are going to go with Blade Runner or Cyberpunk vibes. So the brightness should be going to 0.6, the saturation to 1.6, the contrast to 1.4, the color temperature around 8000 Kelvin. The tint, we are going to give it a tint of 0.4. We're not over yet, because once we are here, we are going to drop down our saturation a bit. We're going to desaturate the shot to give it a 0.8 saturation. This is important. You have to have the color temperature on 8000, the tint on 0.4, and the soft line intensity you're going to touch up later. But these two, color temperature and tint, 8000, 0.4 with the contrast of 1.4, allows you to drop the saturation to 0.8. It is important because then we are going to increase the soft light intensity to 5. And then we are going to decrease the range to 0.6. As you can see, it is very dark now. But we are not done yet. We are not done yet, because then we want to apply the blues filter on a system of 0.2. Now that we have our Blade Runner cyberpunk inspired vibes, we can go ahead and take our shot. Which, this looks gloomy, this looks really like Blade Runner, it has this cyberpunk aesthetics to it, and this is what we wanted to obtain. Now that we've obtained this shot, we can confirm it. And if we ever want to take this screen in photo, this screen is good during the day, good during the night, it has everything we need. This is some tips and tricks I found out while taking photos on NTE. Tips and tricks that could be used by anybody to make some awesome looking photos. Some more guides, some more secrets will be coming up in the coming days or weeks. I will see you later in another video. Same cool channel, same bad timings. Bye bye.